Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Michi's Esports Diaries of me talking to a camera. So it is the first week of the year gone and it was a quite intense one, it was a quite busy one. It is Sunday evening, we've just had the Indy 300 in the Formula Simracing Indy Pro series as a championship finale. And well, I am pretty exhausted and it's time to recap on what has happened on this week, what has happened around my sim racing and my esport activities this week. And well, where do we start? Obviously, the week has been pretty intense in terms of race preparation. So of course there was already Le Mans 24 activity, but besides that, and most importantly, there was the Virtual Endurance Championship race preparations with our traction stream on Wednesday, with our actual practice streams on Thursday and Friday. So it was pretty much a VEC based weekend, which, I mean, I don't know, like, we just have a quick look at the clip that has basically ruined our race, or just made our day, whatever you want to call it, ourselves right here.
Oh dear.
Yellow flag.
Oh, what is it?
You, mate.
Okay, we can swap now. Check what's... Do we need to
quite a lot of aero damage.
Yeah,
Need to
completely.
fixed.
We're completed.
It's clear.
Okay,
We expect you to be coming out of the pits into clear air. When we exit the pits, we'll
I
be
couldn't
in
avoid that,
P3,
like they were
a few
so
seconds.
side by side and I was
Clear
braking,
right.
but I couldn't do anything.
You're locking your fronts going
so
into Canada corner. Incident in Sector 3. Sector 3 is
Fuck.
yellow. Green flag Sector 3. We think that Kish has gone off. Pit crew is ready.
So, as you can see, we straight crashed into, I think the LMP2 it was, in that Fast King on the right, or to the right, and literally we dropped out of the lead, not 100% comfortable with, we did some count back and we should have won the race without the repairs. Anyway, we crashed into that LMP, got to the pit repairs and had a 6-minute, 361 second damage repair, which completely took us out for all contention of the top 5. We are super lucky and super happy that we made ourselves back into PAS6 at least in the very last stint. So it was a good recovery on that end, but the race itself just no good. The pace was good. I think I have been the fastest driver in the DPI across the Division 1. Like, I think the stats were pretty good. Like, there is that one guy that always does the analysis of the lap times, and actually here it is. So you find us down in the 6th order, but you see not just my peak time and then also my median and the top, I think 25% of lap times on average is it. What is the black line? So you see, the more the stuff goes to the left and the shorter or the closer this colored bar is, the more consistency and the more pace you had. And comparing that to the Stout and Christian Mikel from the Nito Veloxka that have won the race, it was safe to say that it was pretty close. Perhaps like I even had the leading edge over Mikel, despite I didn't feel like it. Then that said, of course, after we crashed just with 2 hours to go, they probably haven't had the, let's say, the biggest pressure anymore, the biggest need to risk it. Although Nick Da Silva has still been very, very close to us, you know, just 15-20 seconds away from us. So yeah, anyway, as a matter of fact, and what really bugs me still off today, I mean, it's 36 hours past now, but it's just the situation to not be in control, to have no chance whatsoever. I am sore about two things. Sore that I don't know what has gone wrong. The only thing I do know that it was recommended as per the driver's briefing to not do overtakes there on the inside on a GTE because they're on their very limit. Yet it was attempted, and the problem is in the moment of contact, open the bracket, for me not yet even really visible, bracket ends. So still in the moment of contact, I was doomed, and I was given two options that would have resulted in a 6-minute repair anyway. So the moment the guys collided, I could have just emergency braked and probably crashed straight into the wall myself, or be rear-ended by a following car, or I could have done what I just did, which was trying to somehow brake, trying to somehow make the car go around the fast kink without losing the rear. I still lost the rear, but despite, like, even if I would have not lost it, I would have never ever made the gap that far on the inside, because when I approached really with just like 10 meters to the accident, the GTE and the LMP, they were so close to each other that there didn't exist a gap where I could put my car. And if I could have gone for a gap, it would have been too far on the right, and I would have never ever made that from the radial of the corner. So the moment the crash happened, I had zero opportunity to avoid what happened for us in the end. And to a certain extent, it makes me mad, because I was given a situation, I could not do anything, which was completely out of my control. At the same time, this could make me not unhappy, because there was nothing I could do anyway. And last but not least, 5, 6, 7 hours of race preparation, 4.5, 5 hours of heavy push, quite high risk-taking racing to stay in the lead, to fight against Nito Velox. Was a great race, was good fun, was full of suspense, never boring, always looking where are we, where are others, what is the traffic doing, and so on. Have that race killed by this incident. So painful. And instead of further leading the championship, we're now I think 4 or 5 points behind. Of course, championship is not in any way pre-decided, but it still hurts, you know. It's still unfortunate, and I'm sorry for the guys that we just couldn't bring it home. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, something else this week happened, and that was something very interesting, and most of you guys have actually seen it, of course. So the Akira, my Mercedes F1 wheel, is back in business. Finally on Monday or on Tuesday, my 50 spare parts have arrived. Not that I needed 50 spare parts, but I needed 50 of these button clickers because it was the smallest package I could get. It costed €6. It took 8 weeks to ship, and half of them are useless because the elements with the contacts are simply broken. They are looking the wrong direction. They are bent. They are like, you know, half of them are trash anyway. But okay, it's no biggie because it's, you know, just €6 for 50 parts. All right. And then I was like, okay, now I have to do the soldering job. And I did solder once 10 years ago, something so irrelevant that you could not F it up, because it was simply putting a cable back onto a big contact, and no matter how bad you would be with soldering, you would be able to do that. However, with this one, it was a different story, and I have a picture of the first try right here. So on the left hand side you see the braking, the downshifting button is still, like, you know, pretty much untouched and kind of done all right. And on the right hand side, the big field of of soldering mass and like my major F up, to be honest. So the entire process took me 2 hours. I was basically doing it the first time for real. And it was quite some experience. So the first time I've put the wheel on back in the into the USB, no buttons worked whatsoever. So I was like, okay, need to further solder on those contacts, and I really went full all in. Was like, okay, let's see what happens now. And then I've just plugged it back onto the PC, and without pulling one of the shifters, both shifters were activated continuously, and I was like, oh no, now you made a short circle out of the entire platina. So I went on the internet and looked for how to remove soldering mass. And I was sweating. Honestly, I was sweating so bad. I was like, oh my God, no, you completely killed your platine, and now the shifter's never gonna ever work again. It was like a full drama in my head forming. But I was like, just like racing, the never give up mentality, you somehow make it work. And I think it took me 5 to 6 corrections. And then I was finally able to separate the shifts. So when downshifting, only the downshift worked. When upshifting, only the upshift worked. At some point I was in the stage, the downshift was a downshift, but upshift was downshift and an upshift. For whatever reason, I don't know. I have just created something really bad at that point. And I was really happy to get that removed. And at some point the platina just did what it did. So upshift, upshift, downshift, downshift, nothing else. And then I plugged it back, had to put the cable in, and I really had to this platina is only working in a specific position, because the shifter down there is so bad material and so bad quality that there is only one single position of both the platina and the shifter pots down there pushing the button. That even needs a layer of gluing tape so that it is big enough and thick enough to really click the button. It took me 6 or 7 retries to get it 100% working, but the result in the end is just, it works flawless, which is great. I so much appreciate that. And yeah, this is where we are. The Akira is back in business. It was a rodeo drive for 2 hours to get it back working, but the smile, and especially, last time Nick Veltner has repaired the wheel for me, Twiggy, you know him from the chat, and massive shout out again to Twiggy for fixing that in the mid-2020. He even sent another platina that I could just put on, but the post somehow got lost in between, so it never actually reached me. What a shame. And then he told me what to do, and I was just like, F it, in times of Corona, I just try it, I need to get it done. And eventually it worked out, which is really, really great. So, and last but not least, with the wheel back in business and VEC done, there was just today, the finale of the Formula Pro Series, which I did not enjoy too much because of the car. I was just too retarded and too stupid to underdrive it correctly. But the Indy 500, the Indy 300 obviously was a good opportunity to just turn left and go flat out. Due to the recent activities, of which we were going to talk in the next episode of Michi's Esport Diaries, we had no practice whatsoever. So I turned my first laps literally 1 hour before the race, 15, 20 laps, 25 laps perhaps. Went into qualifying, obviously bottled that. Well, I didn't bottle it. It was a good qualifying for the circumstances, but it was only possible to get P28. Well, and then we survived a couple of incidents, a couple of contacts, a couple of hairy situations. We did a lot of fuel saving. We did then at some point full push because of a lot of cautions, and then sadly no cautions came anymore. And well, 121 laps, and with like 40 something laps to go, I realized no matter how much I do save on fuel, I won't be able to make it to the end. And well, instead of getting 4th or 5th, we had to go for a splash and dash with 8 laps to go. Finished P12 in the end. Congrats to Dennis Jordan and Red Bull Racing for Red Bull Racing Esports for winning the championship, I think, both the drivers and the teams. And yeah, I mean, P12 was alright. I mean, it's just 16 spots gained. We kind of kept clean of everything and had good fun, had a good time out on the stream. Was a lot of viewers, actually over 100 viewers. Really, really happy with that. And yeah, most of you guys have seen it. In case you've missed it, I've linked the video into the top right of the corner. And for now, guys, I wish you a happy Monday. Hope you have a great start into the week. Make sure to tune in on the next episode of Michi's Esport Diaries, which will be released on Wednesday. Tomorrow, obviously, we're going to be live on Traction GG on R Factor 2. There won't be any further streams though till the end of the week when there is the big Le Mans Virtual 24. And the reason for that you'll find out in the video on Wednesday. So guys, thank you for your time. Have a good start into your week and see you there on Wednesday. Goodbye.